Well, we are getting a ton of rain. They called for, I think my dad thought it was going to be a quarter inch, but then they called for a half an inch. It seemed like it was going to pass by quick, and then the storm kind of like sat over us for a little bit. So as you see, the water's running down the driveway, but look at that yard. Oh my God, it is a nice yard. What do you think about that, neighbor? Check that yard out, boy. All right, I'm sitting on the back of the planter. I accidentally bumped this thing. My shirt got caught in it and I yanked it up and down. Or I guess, I can't remember which way it goes. If it goes like this, or if it goes like this on the planter. Back on the air compressor. I ran with it like that, it seemed to run fine. But I don't know if that's the right way it goes. So I got it with Brian at John Deere. He's supposed to let me know. So just to make sure everything's going good. That's where I got the camera mounted at, on the top of that, so I can see the traffic coming up behind me, because as you can see, there's the cab of the tractor right there, and you can't see nothing on either side of you from all this when you're going down the highway. So that's why we put cameras on the back of everything. Combines, every piece of, even my drill, both tractors, everything's mounted with it. Doesn't matter, sprayer, everything is definitely mounted with a camera, because people nowadays are crazy on the road, and they'll just go flying by you and could care less. So I still got some seed left in here from the field that I planted. So I'm gonna grease everything right now, because we did get, they said we were supposed to get a quarter inch of rain last night, but I actually think we got an inch of rain. So while we're on some downtime, I am, make sure I don't fall here, because these planters, I'll show you. When you got these deer planters folded up, they are very high up to get this. I wish what they had right here, I wish they had a step that from this one and it kind of swung down, or almost like a sprayer. When you get moving, it automatically folds up, and when you stop, you know, it'll fold down for you. That'd be cool if they came out with something like that, because when these things right here are folded up, I mean, they are very tall. So, I mean, like I said, you need a ladder to get up there to it. That way you don't have to get out and unfold the whole thing and lower it just to get back, you know, to get on the back of it for something. So, next corn, let's see, I got the Seed Consultant 85 day in there, and we're planting that on sandy ground, a lot of our sandy farms, or fields, I should say. We're gonna have it spread out. That way, hopefully it'll dry down quicker on those sandier fields, because we did go from 75 to 85. Of course, I wanted the 80 day, it was all sold out. They took that stuff quick. So if this does work good next year, I know right at the end of the year, know what to do. But it's hard to beat Pioneer anyway, and their 75 day corn. We just want to try something different on a couple fields just for early corn to see what it would do. But I got it in the seed tender, a whole tote of that. And then here's the rest of the 75 day to finish up with. And then I got the P, this corn right here was really hard to get, wherever it's at, the P1222, the brand new variety that Pioneer has. They sold it to everybody out west, because that's where all the big farmers are and the black dirt. And I bugged them to death about it. It was the, not saying it's gonna work here, but it 600 something bushels, I know it was in a test plot, but the other corn and brands that were in the same test plot didn't even, I think the closest one was 404 or something like that. So not to say that this is going to make any difference, but it's a new variety. I wanted to try it. It's 112 day, it's P1222, and I bugged them enough to get 16 bags, because they weren't releasing it enough. I guess they didn't have enough of it to just bulk unit like they do 1197 and 1506, 1464. So they tried to give some people some, but I I irritated him enough I wanted to try it. So I'm going to try to put that on some of our best ground, try to find a field that's 16 bags to do, and plant that there. I'd like to plant that after I do the 75 day. I definitely want to have the planter cleaned out though completely before I do that. But I want to put that in and then probably switch to the Seed Consultant 108. I'd like to switch and try that variety on our back farm that we got where the beavers were. I think that, and then there's a field on Rithouse Road that we will have left and put it there. I think it'll do good there. And hopefully that'll use that box up. And then across the street, I'd like to put 1197 there. It's 111 day. And then across town, we got 1506. That's that 115 day that we planted at my farm. Was it last year? And that stuff looked really good. I mean, really, really good. So I want to put that across town, and I think that's going to do really good. I like that corn. I like that 1506. 1506 is a good number for Pioneer. I hope this P1222 is a good number too. So they said they'll have a lot more of it next year, but I think it was on a limited basis this year, how it worked out. So I got it all in my head where we want everything at. Of course, that could change like everything else, but it's all in here every day, thinking about where to put stuff. I'm going to run this 85 day out. We got a couple sandier fields over here. I think that the corn will do good there. And when I say sandy, they're not like sand hills. They're just a little bit higher ground. I think the corn will dry down quicker on them fields, or it has in the past. You know, even with long season corn, it seems like them fields are always ready earlier. So knock that out and switch over. So, but right now I greased everything before I started, but I did 100 acres. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these arms and everything greased again, just keep up with them. Seems if you let them dry out, if you let these things get dry when they're moving up and down, they'll actually loosen. I guess that it gets tight in here and it actually loosens these bolts, and it'll actually cause them to get a little loose, start, you know, kind of wedging out, or it turns them as it picks up and they're dry. It'll kind of turn and it turns them loose. So normally I grease her every other day or every 3 days, but I still had that problem where you come and one of them would be loose or something. So I'm going to just try to, while we got some downtime, keep up with it. I want to keep up with it this year. I want everything to be perfect. So, man, I really wish it. If I could have started last week, that Monday I wanted to. I mean, it was 70 degrees all last week. No rain. And got that seed, because I would have rolled with it and got that corn in the ground. And this rain, I mean, that corn would just be able to be poking out probably now, if not out. And this rain with the chemical, with the fertilizer and everything, oh man, that stuff would be popped up right now. And then it's supposed, I think after a day, it's supposed to be nice the rest of the week, back up in good temperatures. And there ain't no rain in the forecast for a while, so this rain right here, I mean, it would have brought every bit of that corn out. And, but, I mean, we lost 6 days. I mean, it makes a difference, 6 days, so, I mean, it does, but whatever. It would have, man, it would have really paid off to be planting last Monday. But, and I got one of these, I had Road 9, kept giving me a fit when we first got going yesterday. So we changed the unit out and put a bean unit on, and you know, got the seed disc, everything changed out, and then it worked good. It ran back up the population because she would stop planting, so I did everything to it. I put a new clutch on it, I put a new seed sensor, changed the whole unit out, and it seemed like it worked fine all day yesterday. But every once in a while I was noticing on the computer where, you know, if it's supposed to be planting 32,000, it would drop to like 27, and then it would go back up to 32, and then it would drop to 26, and then it would go to 32 for a while, and it would drop. And I'm thinking, here, let me show you. This is the reason I like to go to all electric drives, because it's a little dark, but these cables, you got your transmission, and as that's turning, there's a rod here. I'll show you what it looks like that's inside of that. Right here. These are the tips. They slide up in a groove in the transmission and then down in the clutch. Well, these little cables, they turn inside of this whole shaft. So when you push one end up in the transmission, it's turning, the transmission's turning, and it's turning this rod inside here. Turn it, and then when it plugs into the clutch right here. And then it's turning the clutch and, you know, causes everything to turn in there. Well, sometimes these things right here can get a little stiff or worn. Where's that right here? They can get a little stiff and worn, and they'll grab and go, and they'll turn good, and then they'll grab and go and turn good. And they'll grab, turn. Well, that's where you look on a computer, your population screws up every, here and there. So I'm gonna replace, I'm gonna put one of them newer ones in here. And then when I run her again, see if that's what the problem was. Might not fix it, it might, but I mean, like I said, it's working good, other than your population will drag every now and then. And in order to get it to run consistent, I wanted to make sure that it's perfect. So, but that's the plan, just grease it and do this stuff. So not much going on today other than drying up, and the wind's blowing like 40 miles an hour out there. So there was actually some water laying around earlier that's going, and the wind is really drying out the ground. So maybe tomorrow afternoon or the next day, we'll be able to get to it again. And once we get going, we'll just start rolling with it. So there'll be more videos of planting, and I am gonna bring my camera and put it on the planter somewhere and try to get some footage of that. So I just don't know how to connect my cell phone footage, because I just upload everything on my cell phone through an app. I don't know how to put my cell phone footage on a computer with the camera footage, and then I know how to piece it all together. It's just a matter of getting, like, how do you get the cell phone footage on your computer, and then, so you can mix it in with your camera footage and just upload it all together. That's where I'm having an issue at. So, but I'm gonna give it a try. So we'll see when we get back going. See.